There's one state that you should be thinking about moving to as soon as possible, especially if you're concerned about climate change. It's not the sunny beaches of California or the affordable housing mecca of Texas. It's a state that usually flies under the radar, but is quietly gaining recognition as one of the safest and best places to live in the United States as our planet heats up. In 2017, Popular Science named this state the best place to live by 2100 after looking at long-term trends in sea levels, hurricanes, floods, and droughts. And then in 2021, this state was named the climate safe haven in the best-selling book Move, The Forces Uprooting Us, after the author studied the effects of climate change. And then in 2023, CBS News interviewed a few experts, including a climate scientist who decided to pack up his entire life on the West Coast and move to this state before, and I quote, "the crisis really gets worse." And the other expert CBS interviewed was me.
Metro Detroit real estate agent Paul Wolfert.
Arizona, Texas, California are some of the 3 top states that I have people moving from. That's because the state that everyone agrees that you should move to is Michigan. And as one of the top real estate agents in the state of Michigan, I've helped hundreds of people move to, from, and around this beautiful place. But why Michigan? Excellent question, my new friend. Let's dive into all the reasons why the Great Lakes state could be the best place to live as the climate continues to change. Because it's changing. Now, if I miss anything in this list, please let me know in the comments. The first reason is access to fresh water, and that shouldn't come as any surprise. Michigan is home to a staggering 20% of the world's surface freshwater, thanks to the Great Lakes. That's the world's freshwater, not just the freshwater in America. While other states may experience severe weather shortages and droughts, Michigan's crazy amount of freshwater supply will remain stable, because we've got a lot of it. This means not only reliable drinking water, but also resources for anything else that needs water. Imagine being surrounded by huge, clear lakes and rivers while people in other parts of the country face strict water usage limits. Like they actually say, you can't use water today. You can't water your lawn today. We don't have any of that. Michigan's water resources are a massive advantage in a world where water is becoming one of the most precious commodities. It's like liquid gold. And we've got a lot of that liquid gold. According to reports, the Great Lakes contain over 6 quadrillion gallons of water, enough to provide millions of people and sustain local ecosystems. I mean, like, it's gotta take a long time to go through 6 quadrillion gallons. The next reason is a low risk of natural disasters. When you think about places that are hit hardest by climate change, coastal areas and southern states probably come to mind. Hurricanes batter the east and Gulf coasts, wildfires rage all over the west, and tornadoes rip through the Midwest and South. But Michigan is spared from most of those extreme weather events. Here in Michigan, you don't really need to worry about hurricanes or massive flooding. It's also well outside the whole area known as Tornado Alley and has just about 0 risk of earthquakes. I know we've had like a few little trembles, but it's not earthquake. The biggest weather-related concern here is snow, obviously. And while Michigan does get a lot of it, it's still way less destructive compared to other natural disasters. The worst things I see here are like power outages and a few trees falling over. Plus, as the climate warms up, the amount of snowfall is expected to decrease, making winters way milder and easier to manage. And they're already pretty easy to manage as it is. I've only had to bust out my snowblower a few times over the past few years. The next reason is a milder climate. As the world heats up, the climate in a lot of the country is becoming absolutely horrible. Heat waves are pushing temperatures way above 100 degrees, even in places like Seattle and Portland. But in Michigan, summers are warm, but they're not extreme. Like we get to like 100-ish, but like it's not crazy. And winters are cold, but they're still manageable. The most common things I hear from people moving to Michigan from states like California is, it's not as cold as I thought it would be, and the snow isn't that bad. And they're right, it's really not. According to climate projections, Michigan's overall temperature is going to increase, but we won't see the extreme spikes other areas are experiencing. That means more comfortable summers and milder winters as the climate stabilizes. Really, I just want it to be like 80 degrees every day. That'd be perfect. But we still have all the seasons here. Michigan isn't gonna get slammed by the extreme heat that other areas will. So it makes it a pretty good looking place for people that are just looking to get away from all that heat. I've helped a ton of people move here from areas like Texas and Arizona for that reason. Well, that and the water thing. If you're in an area like that and you're thinking about moving, click the link in the description and I'll help you out. The next reason is we've got room to grow and thrive. Unlike other parts of the country that are becoming way overcrowded, Michigan has plenty of space. Tons of space in the mitten. We're like 2 states. 2 of them. Cities like Detroit and Grand Rapids are seeing a revival, but they're not overly dense or cramped. There's room to spread out and buy affordable property and build new communities. I don't think most people realize how big Detroit is. It's massive. And the Metro Detroit area is over 3,800 square miles. That's almost the size of Rhode Island and Delaware combined, like a Delaware sandwich. So while other states are struggling to keep up with the rapid growth and infrastructure issues, Michigan is more than ready to welcome new residents. What a lot of people find is it doesn't matter if you're looking for like a cool urban setting or a quiet rural retreat, Michigan has a ton of options without the high prices you'd see in places like California or New York. Now, I say that, but it really depends on where you want to live. The nicest areas are going to cost you more for the actual housing, but the cost of living will be lower for sure. It's not like $30 for a sandwich. The next reason is a growing community of resilient cities. Michigan isn't just prepared to survive the climate change, it's ready to thrive in it. Cities like Detroit, Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, they're all focusing on becoming more resilient. They're investing in things like green infrastructure and sustainable energy and community programs. All those are gonna help residents prepare for the future. Detroit's even made headlines for its transformation. I mean, like, have you read the news? Detroit has come a long way. I grew up here and Detroit was always struggling with population decline. Now, Detroit's attracting new businesses and young professionals from all over the globe. And as more climate refugees come from other parts of the country looking for a safer place to move, Detroit's revitalization and growth will only accelerate. You got more people coming here, more people working on it, and the place is just getting better. Local leaders and businesses are creating more green spaces and making sure that Michigan cities are like future-proof. Michigan is a state that's actively working to adapt in a changing world instead of just reacting to it. So if you're interested in making a move to Michigan but not sure where you want to live or should live, check out some of the other videos and playlists on my channel, and I'll see you there.